If you're new here, I'm Crystal. Cyber enthusiast.
Nori. Hi. Nori.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this 12-hour edition of Practical Ethical Hacking. My name is Heath Adams, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. A really quick, who am I? I am a husband, ethical hacker, teacher, and when I have time, gamer, sportsman, and animal dad. I am the business owner at TCM Security. We are a cybersecurity consulting and education firm. Let's go ahead and get this course started. Before we dive into this course, I want to talk about a day in the life of an ethical hacker. And I want to talk about what's going on today. I'm doing Soul from ActiveOps. In this picture, I'm going to change it up a little bit to be less direct, as I've had a few comments saying they don't like the full spoilers, so hopefully this is somewhat better. The toughest part about this box is the path is not laid directly in front of you. There will be a few things that look exploitable, but if you don't multitask your free time, just go straight for code execution every time you see something, you'll end up wasting a lot of time. Once you discover the path, it's pretty straightforward with exploiting the CVE that opens up the doorway to remote code execution. And once on the box, there's two ways to exploit the different piece of software running on the box. One for receiving key, and the other is just understanding what it's exposed to. So with that being said, let's jump in. As always, we're starting with a nmap, so -c equals scripts, SB, and three versions, -db, double with those. This gives us things like DTL, rotate, output all format, and map directory called soulmate, and then the IP address of 10.10.11.86. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have just two ports open. The first port is SSH on port 22, and the second tells us it's a local server. We also have HTTP on port 80, and scanner tells us it's engine text, also running in Ubuntu, and then the HTTP title is telling us it's redirecting over to soulmate.http. So I'm going to go ahead and add this micro also sudo host. Then we can add 10.10.11.6 soulmate.http. Save that. And let's go take a look at the web page. So HTTP, soulmate.http, and we'll just get a page that says find your perfect match. We click around, we got the register.php, so we know this is going to be before I dig too deep into this, I always like setting up some type of recon going in the background. The first thing I'm going to do is a virtual host configuration. This is generally one of the quickest ones. So I'm going to use Follow. You got a lot of tools for this. I'm
No,
Go
no,
Buster,
I
a bunch of other ones, but I just like using Follow. Make it a dash down to 8 for header. I'm going to put the host flag in it, and then I'm going to say buzz.soulmate.html. I'm not sure if it's buzz or font, right? On that, we'll find out in a second. Dash W for word list, and then do top sec list, discovery, DNS, and then we'll do subdomains, top 1 million, 20,000 should be fine. And then the URL we're going to give it is just HTTP 10.10.11.86. It doesn't really matter if we give it soulmate.html or the IP address because we're manually putting the host header in it. So that looks like it's working. I'm going to do a dash FS for build to size, and we'll do 154. And right off the bat, it does give us a domain FTP. So let's go ahead and add this to our host also so that we can see host. And then we can add ftp.soulmate.html, save that. And let's see, we could start taking a look at the web server, but I'm going to do another recon that's going to be a little bit longer. And I'm going to create a follow up domains.txt. This is going to do soulmate.html. I'm going to give it HTTP as well. And then http://ftp.soulmate.html. Let's just make sure this is working. Maybe being ahead of ourselves, right? Okay, we do have crush FTP running. Let's go ahead and now run nuclei. So I'm going to do nuclei -fr for follow redirect, silent, headless, and then dash list, give it domains.txt. And this should start running nuclei in the background while we take a look at the page. Now let's wait, get some output to make sure it's working, but we do have it in silent mode, so maybe it won't tell us that much runtime error. Okay, so it looks like it is working. It extracted it. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we have a login. I'm looking for like reset password functionality. We don't have any of that. We have reset password. You can only evaluate like validate changes, vulnerability, things like that. Just check an eye on what we have available to us. We're going to do sign up here. Let's do IPsec, and then we'll do a password of password. I don't know why it's password there, but profile picture optional. I'm going to leave that blank real quick. Let's do create an account. And then we say IPsec password. Okay, we're on a profile. We could try like SSTI things, echo test. I don't know. That's going to be invalid SSTI. Just place it back. We know that's not vulnerable. We got some type of error. We'll be fine, right? We could also try.
cases, the transformation these forces bring about are grotesque and unsettling in their own right. The real horror comes from the knowledge of what they originally were. But what has always fascinated me isn't the most disturbing mutations or the most malevolent and deadly settings, but instead the unsettling beauty as a result of biological change. Experiences which don't allow your mind to settle on one emotion, simultaneously evoking horror and wonder, and above all else, sparking an insatiable curiosity, driving you to learn more, and ensuring the cost of attaining this knowledge is always in the back of your mind. But no word encompasses this beauty better than Bloodborne, in which entire ecosystems undergo a metamorphosis into completely arcane, or the true equals come not as a result of the hauntingly beautiful culture of the creatures who have ascended beyond this world. The humans will stop at nothing to join them. Well, I don't usually share much about my personal life on this channel. A big part of why I'm making this video is because I'm going to begin a master's program in biology this year, researching how the immune cells of the eye respond to damage. Bloodborne is an extremely expensive game, and my excitement for an eye-based study is a clear sign that I finally needed to return to the exact gothic masterpiece. Bloodborne's villain, Bloodborne, Great One, godlike being to the object of obsessive scientific pursuit to devote worship. While many of their physical bodies lie slumbering or dead in a vast underground labyrinth of chalice dungeons, they continue to exist within higher planes, inhabited, perhaps bringing into existence communities of nightmares each world. From these dimensions, they continue to preserve their influence over the world. Contrast to those all those creatures in Lovecraft's own world, the Great Ones are not terrible beings with the aim to destroy humanity, which are in most cases largely non-hostile. We are the ones who push them to violence. The Great Ones that inhabit the nightmare are sympathetic spirits and often answer when called upon. Before the School of Burgundy first encountered the Eldritch Truth in the Chalice Dungeons in Eastern, small fishing hamlet along the coastline was slowly changing. Inhabitants would become transformed into strange aquatic forms. Many of game fish-like traits, some growing into the terrifying shark-like, while others curl in their shells like mollusks. At the root of these changes is Toss, the deceased Great One whose presence washed up by the
What's up? What are you playing?
Bus Simulator 21.
What is it?
Bus Simulator 21.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Strikingly human face hides the mask of spreading to the head. And it's this combination of
Just fucking chilling out in this hammock now.
Bodies of water act as a bulwark for any sea, auger, depths of the ocean, cosmos, and dreams are just beyond the reach of humanity, and it's for these reasons they are linked to the higher planes of Great Ones. Toss's domain is the bottomless sea, and it's no wonder that the ocean is at the center of so many works of cosmic horror. Depths of both the literally unknown, the life-bound things that While researching this topic, I came across this amazing artwork created by a folder who graciously allowed me to use this video. This piece rambles how Toss spent the years with the ocean before her death, and I couldn't get over how well it captures the real yet haunting entire thing. No one would know. I did.
Didn't tell me not to go anywhere. As long as I take up your phone and go somewhere else. Bro discovers free will.
failed to make contact with the outer cosmos, where the Great One resides, and walked the plains of darkness. This one is able to gain an apology to God and stars, and faith and mother and
Welcome back, everybody. What a fantastic morning. Now, don't touch that radio. I have some great news to announce. Today, a new company will take over public transport. Soon, we will see buses roaming our city day and night. This will make it easier to take in all the beauty Angel Shores has to offer. Are you looking for the best food in town? Check out the fantastic restaurants in Oakwood. In the evening, you can head over to West Oakwood and enjoy some sprawling nightlife. That's what I call an Oakwood double combi night. Food and party. Want to spend a nice day out in nature? Just head over to Gold Island for a hike or have a relaxed day at Silver Park. It's the perfect spot to grab a good book and enjoy the silence. For a family day trip, head over to Arnold Park. There are rumors about sea lions living in the waterfront. I've got to see that for myself. Also, if you're into seafood, you won't be disappointed. Talking about the sea, not a single cloud to be had in the coming weeks. So don't forget to check out the amazing beach of Seaview. Or if you'd rather spend the hot days on a shopping trip, head over to Pecunia and experience the impressive skyscrapers of the downtown area. These and many more wonderful places wait to be discovered. And thanks to the new transportation company, it'll be easier than ever to visit them. I'm definitely excited to take the bus home today, but enough talk for now. Let's get to it.
Hi there! Over here! Hi, I'm Mira. It's so nice to meet you. I'm here to help you set up your transport business. I'm really excited to get started on this project. All right, first things first. As a bus company, we need a bus. And the great thing is, you get to choose it. Take a look at these 3 buses. Oh, great choice. And now for the best part. Take your seat at the wheel.
Saturday afternoon.
Oh, the feeling of a brand new bus. All settled and ready? Then start the engine. Doesn't that engine sound wonderful? I just love the sound. Don't forget to switch on the lights. Oh, and of course, release the parking brake. Just shift the gear into drive, and we're... Maybe first take a minute to get accustomed to the bus. Just drive around the building until you feel at ease. So you want this model, right? Great. Let's just complete the purchase. This bus marks the beginning of Angel Shore's new public transport system. Time for our maiden voyage. The GPS will show you the way to the first stop.
Various mythologies of our own world. Probably the most well-known example is the river Styx in the Roman mythology, where the souls of the dead are buried in the underworld by the boat number Euron. This figure is definitely an inspiration for the Americans of Earth, who also have to be guides to the dead.
Oh, the first stop is coming up already. You see the markings? They show you the perfect parking position. Oh, and remember to use the indicator. Our first passengers. Now you can open the doors. Welcome everyone to our maiden voyage.
This is so great. I've never taken part in a maiden voyage.
See, our passengers are almost as excited as I am. Make sure all passengers have boarded the bus. Close the doors and we're good to go. Better indicate that you're leaving the stop now. You know how to handle stops. Now our schedule comes into play. A timer shows you the remaining time to the next stop. As a reliable transit company, we'd better be on time. Wow, there are a lot of passengers with us on our very first trip. There are actually more people than I invited. Seems like word got around. Isn't that great? Oh, seems there's a passenger blocking the doors. Better ask him to step inside. When I first came here, I didn't know about the right on red rule. Just so you know, you can turn right at junctions, even if the traffic light is red. Some states have allowed this for over 50 years now. Isn't that fascinating? For the next stop, I asked a friend in a wheelchair to come along. That way, we can try out the ramp. Just extend the ramp so Ash can board.
Hi, Mira. Nice bus you got here.
Hi, Ash. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Having a public transport system in our city will make getting around a whole lot easier for me.
That's great to hear. Enjoy the ride.
See you in a few hours. See you, bro.
actually moved here for this project. Audrey and I are really liking it here, especially the beach promenade. There's one last thing we need to check. As a bus driver, you'll also be selling the tickets. Let's give it a try at the next stop.
I'd like to buy a ticket, please.
Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Hi, Mira. I'm great. Thanks for inviting me today. Maiden voyage sure is an exciting thing to be part of.
And you're helping us take our first steps. Thank you. So, everything's going to plan. The next stop is already the last one. All right, that's the last stop for today. Thank you all for riding with us. Hope to see you again soon. Ash will need the ramp again to get off the bus. That was an amazing maiden voyage. Now, with all the passengers off, the official part of the maiden voyage is done. You really did great. Just deliver the bus to the depot. That's where it's stored. You can also get yourself a coffee there, too. Drive slowly to one of the doors. Now park the bus, and we're done. Great. My team and I will help you establish an awesome transport network to connect the whole city of Angel Shores.
Nice bus. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Steve, head of your bus depots. Once they're parked, me and my team take good care of your buses.
You can leave the parking to Steve. That was a good first day. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Ready for our next adventure? I've already prepared our first official route. The residents of Angel Shores are eager to see our new bus. There it is. You can take over anytime you want.
Do you want to drive? Or maybe just check the passengers' tickets?
Just board the bus, speak to the driver, and take over the steering wheel.
Ah, that's great.
Taking over buses is surely one of the perks of owning a transit company. This route connects the two districts, Highlander Park and St. Anthony. Let's drive the route. And don't forget what you learned yesterday. Try to be punctual, and like my grandma always said, safety first. Mind the pedestrians, and keep a close eye on the traffic.
One particularly interesting example of this writing is actually inspired by the scrolls found all over America's bedchamber. These scrolls seem to be made from white tree bark of all things. America's bedchamber is also filled with towering stacks of stone tablets with inscriptions from a completely different language. What any of this could have meant remained a mystery until the release of the DLC. The Mesmer strategy by the Specimen Storehouse, a place which studies various crucible creatures as well as the cultural practices of the Hornset. According to Slava Flynn, some of Mesmer's fire knights wish to preserve and study the Hornset's culture instead of burning it all to cinders. The ghosts inside the storehouse seem to be doing research, don't have horns, and use Mesmer flame spells, so it's safe to say they are not Hornset and are perhaps instead dead sorcerers who were part of Mesmer's crusade. This storehouse is absolutely packed full of none other than the same stone tablets of America's bedchamber, similar scrolls. What makes this even more interesting is that these tablets are a unique asset. So as opposed to just being reused from America's bedchamber, they are intentionally designed to show a link. The scrolls are also different, lacking the white tree bark, but having similar inscriptions written upon them. This gets even more interesting when we find one particularly important scroll in the storehouse, which is made of white tree bark, the Secret Rite Scroll. This scroll is what tells us about the Hornset's ritual to create a god, explaining that a lord and a vessel are both required. It's clear from this that scrolls on white tree bark contain information of particular importance and secrecy. This paints a clear picture that America was studying the most secret rituals of the Hornset. This is probably why so many Hornset practices were co-opted by the Golden Order. America might have learned how to create living jars, although she certainly made sure hers only grew dead bodies, as well as informing practices of bird tree burial, as Hornset seemed to have done something similar with the trees in Nera Lynn.
again, is it? The recusants sent a lackey. Can you believe they invited me to join them? Now, after what they did? I can scarcely believe it myself. Did they think me a fool? You might be surprised to learn I took them up on the offer. Then they only had to ask. The location of the recusant hideout. It's on Mount Gelmir, found off the old road that leads west from the town of Windmills. That's where they hide. The manor on the peak. Just you wait, wretched recusants. You'll rue the day you insulted my name by laying hands on Lanya. The tale of House Hoslo is told in blood, after all. It's on Mount Gelmir, that's where they hide. Just you wait, wretched recusants. The tale of House Hoslo is told in blood, after all. It's on Mount Gelmir, that's where they hide. Just you wait. in search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Come over here, would you? It's tightly coated. The guards you breached. Yes, that's your type. The guard, you'll slip. Of course, I understand. When you approach, it's only you.
The gate! Open the gate!
The gates are open, it's only you. The gates are open, it's only you.
What are you doing? Stop that!
symbolism and various connections. That's why there's a plethora of hidden and deleted content to discuss, so let's get started. In the opening moments of Prometheus, the camera sweeps across a primordial landscape of what appears to be a newly formed planet, possibly Earth itself, but Ridley Scott intentionally leaves its identity ambiguous. Then we see a colossal shadow falling over the surface, revealing in this case the alien vessel that hints at another world's origin. On interview, Ridley Scott mentioned that he wanted the ship to look like a classic UFO as opposed to the famous Juggernaut in LV-426. Next comes one of the most fascinating scenes of the movie. A lone figure steps towards a waterfall. This figure, an engineer, consumes a mysterious black liquid that causes his body to break down at the genetic level. The merging of the engineer's genetic material with the environment suggests that this sacrifice may be the catalyst for life on Earth. While the theatrical version of the scene implies a pretty ritualistic act, the Blu-ray's deleted footage expands into a full ceremonial sequence. In the extended cut, an elder engineer presents a sacrificial bowl to the chosen engineer, highlighting a solar man almost recently hired. This sequence also includes unseen dialogue that appears in the early draft script, which I discussed in another video. But the important takeaway from the deleted dialogue is that the goldish substance is the blood of the xenomorph-like deity that engineers worship. Also, the hieroglyphs etched onto the bowl and the bowl itself later reappear in the temple in LV-223. The sacrificial engineer appears to be the best genetic specimen of their race, likely chosen to ensure the creation of a high-quality life form on the planet. In addition, dozens of engineers stand on the other side of the waterfall right below the ship watching the event. His tall, muscular physique and marble-like features were actually created by blending together classical Greco-Roman sculptures, reinforcing the idea of him being a godlike figure. However, beyond aesthetics, this ceremony resonates with myths of divine beings who sacrifice themselves to create or uplift humanity, a theme echoed in religious narratives like Christ's crucifixion. Ridley Scott subtly underscores these religious parallels throughout Prometheus, weaving Christian symbolism into details like Dr. Shaw's crucifix and the film's broader inquiries into faith. The location of the sacrifice ceremony also has its own symbolism. Water, almost universally associated with purity, cleansing, and Genesis, here becomes the medium through which the engineer's genetic material propagates. This imagery intertwines biblical motives of baptism and rebirth with the film's sci-fi concepts of biogenetic engineering. The black goo that simultaneously destroys and creates life emerges as a central mystery that drives the story forward. Early concepts and the documentary reveal that there were actually two other versions of that organism. One of them bases its body and integrates into small insects. One of these insects bites the turn of the man, and the camera then zooms in on this dilated pupil, showing the transformation of his after the film's opening scene, which jumps forward millions of years to the 21st century. During the film's pre-release campaign, the studio produced several promotional materials, most notably the Wayland's TED Talk. It's not featured in the theatrical cut, but it provides essential insights into motivations and the worldview of Peter Wayland, one of the main figures of Prometheus. Wayland's TED Talk took place in February 2023 in the Alien timeline. Opens by mentioning his favorite film, Lawrence of Arabia. Historical Lawrence was a British officer who fought for Arab independence, renowned for his defiance of authority and disregard of tradition. Lawrence's rebellious spirit and vision mirrors Wayland's own ambitions to push boundaries of what is considered possible and to achieve grand, transformative feats for humanity. In his speech, Wayland then turns to the Greek myth of Prometheus, from which both the movie and the expedition take their name. In ancient lore, the Titan Prometheus defied the gods by stealing fire from Mount Olympus and gifting it to humans. This rebellious act granted humanity knowledge, enabling civilization's rapid progress. Yet Prometheus paid a heavy price. Zeus sentenced him to an eternal
regenerate each night. This myth resonates deeply within the film's narrative, just as Prometheus's gift of fire had massive, unforeseen consequences. Prometheus' crew seeks quote-unquote fire in the form of forbidden knowledge about humanity's creators, the engineers. Their quest for answers challenges divine, or in this case, extraterrestrial authority. So in striving for truths that may have been better left undiscovered, scientists unintentionally unleash orders that echo the punishment of the Titan Prometheus himself. The parallels also extend to the creation of David, the android serving aboard Prometheus. By creating an artificial being in their own image, humans effectively usurp a power once reserved for gods only. Wayland then states that the god is dead and that we humans became gods. His declaration that the god is dead references Friedrich Nietzsche, whose main idea in philosophy was that the ultimate goal of an individual is the quest for power, which Wayland takes to the extreme. Nietzsche actually hated religions, and particularly Christianity, that in his view led many people to adopt slave morality and adherence to moral values. And Nietzsche argued that these moral behaviors deterred people from seeking as much power as possible. So it seems like Wayland embodies Nietzsche's philosophy and the rejection of God. Wayland then replaces God with the quest for power, no matter the cost. Wayland's mission to ask the engineer for more life reflects the same hubris. Rather than humbly acknowledging a higher power, Wayland believes mankind has effectively become that higher power. However, the violent encounter between Wayland and the soul-providing engineer on LTV3 underscores the foolishness of such overconfidence. Despite moments, Wayland comes face to face with a very deep is a central theme in the film as Shaw seeks belief about creation and God. In addition, there are two alternate versions of that scene that were ultimately not used. One version, which was shut down for financial reasons, involved a submarine expedition where Shaw and Oliver were city, reminiscent of Atlantis, and discovered a tablet with a star map on it. Another version
the film transitions to the Prometheus spacecraft traveling through deep with Shaw's being surprise speed and induced stasis that slows monitors Shaw's dreams via technology like a total. This quiet links to Shaw's mind aligns David's position as both observer and manipulator. In Shaw's dream, we see her as a curious child asking her father about the afterlife, foreshadowing her lifelong quest for answers about existence and fate. Expanded backstory clarifies that Shaw's mother died in childbirth and her father later succumbed to Ebola virus in Africa. Then we get a closer introduction to David as synthetic. Prometheus was awake for 2 years while everybody else was asleep. 2001 Space Odyssey movie. Introduction of other classic science fiction references. In one scene, David plays basketball while riding a bike, which is a nod to a similar scene with Ripley in Alien Resurrection. He also studies Proto-Indo-European, the language of the engineers, foreshadowing his ability to communicate with them. Another fascinating thing is that the linguist featured on David's projector was the real-life soldier hired by Prometheus. Then there's a short clip of him watching a movie, Lawrence of Arabia, that was referenced by David's creator, Peter Whalen. Interestingly, David copies the appearance and the narrative speech of the main character of that movie, Lawrence, which reflects David's fascination with human behavior and his desire to emulate it. David also recites one of his favorite lines of the movie: "The trick is not finding that it hurts." Ridley actually explained in the commentary that towards Lawrence also had similar to that follows a really interesting sequence that foreshadows that David will actually be a villain. In a short clip, David is seen drinking milk, which is a common motive associated with villains in cinema. This subtle detail hints at David's darker side, suggesting that his intentions may not align with the well-being of the crew. Milk also references the white fluid that serves as blood for androids in the Alien series. The fact that android fluid is white has really disturbing parallels, but conceptually it makes it look like David is drinking his own blood. There's also a short clip of David crying that was actually deleted from the final cut, hinting at David's ability to experience human emotions. And in that clip, David's tears are not an imitation. He was actually crying while watching the movie alone, with no one to pretend to. As the Prometheus reaches its destination, several significant moments and motives unfold. Meredith Vickers is the first one to awaken from cryosleep. Her early awakening without any help prompts a question about her true nature and capabilities. Many viewers notice that Vickers' push-ups are performed in terrible form, but that actually makes sense as she just woken up from cryosleep and her muscles are likely atrophied to the extent of activity. After the rest of the crew awakens from cryosleep, they gather for a meal, a recurring motive in the Alien series, which is also seen in Alien of 1979, Aliens, Alien Covenant, and others. This moment, while seemingly innocent and heartwarming, carries a deep and dark symbolism. It is to be interpreted as a massive meal on the road. Christmas, which is another reference actually an extended version of that scene where camera pans over a little figurine. Then the introduction of forward hypertension prevalent in the alien scene. Or mentions that it's Wayland, capitalist greed personified. His monologue outlines the mission's purpose, uncover its origins, and answer fundamental questions about existence and the afterlife. Wayland also which underscores the philosophical and existential question of what it means to be truly alive and sentient. Wayland then says that David is the closest thing to a son that he'll ever have, and calculated dismissal of his actual daughter, Vickers. Which explains her smirk and, in retrospect, makes Wayland even more despicable. It also reframes Vickers' coldness as an emotional armor forged by her father's rejection. Then Charlie and Shaw present various artifacts scattered across space on Earth, however, all pointing to the same star formation. Notably, each artifact features a giant figure roughly twice the size of a human, pointing to a star map.
Oh,
This imagery
welcome
parallels
to the I
the
Teach
science
England
difference
Explores
between
that one
engineers,
ensured
space
way.
jockeys, and humans,
You do.
emphasizing the
Most
godlike
tarnished are
stature
blind
of
to
the
it these
engineers.
new are something
Shaw
else.
interprets the star map as an invitation from the engineers. This optimistic view contrasts with the skepticism of other crew members.
May the golden
particularly
order
Whitefield.
shine through
And
you.
there's actually a deleted scene right after this meeting where Shaw argues with Charlie for not backing her up during the
Pleasure
meeting.
to thank goodness.
And the
I'm
reason
still looking.
Charlie
It's not
does not
easy.
support Shaw could be because
It's all
Charlie
right,
has a
I'm
more
still looking.
scientific outlook compared to Shaw, who is primarily driven by faith. This duality between science and religion is
I
the
took you,
source of
Mama, to
tension
lay out your
between
own.
their different perspectives, which will be explored
she's
in
close.
the
She has it. I saw it there.
Since Prometheus takes place before Alien of 1979,
I see
some
nothing's
viewers
better
might
than trap.
question
That's
how
all there
come
is.
the design of Nostromo appears to be
No,
so
well, no
blue
my
and
big.
less
Besides,
advanced.
despite my deciding.
But the writers actually explained that the Nostromo is a utilitarian industrial tug, while the Prometheus is the state-of-the-art space vessel
It's all a bit
specifically
much for
designed
me,
for
in
Vickers and
truth.
Wayland,
I'm still
prioritizing
looking for my
maximum
own
comfort
purpose.
and cutting-edge
You're
technology.
telling me I don't believe. If I do, I suppose I shall ask Matt certainly. I know he's a can tell.
Reminding them that they are her employees, again referencing the cool class struggle. Their interaction hints
Back
at a
already.
hidden agenda
No matter.
and her potential conflict with Wayland's intentions that are primarily focused on finding engineers. It's actually funny that
Girl.
Vickers says that
Are you out of your mind?
$1 million
Who'd
to run the
stay with an
mission,
absurd-
that they are her employees. There
I
is a
refuse to
real
believe it.
behind
I don't
her,
doubt it.
symbolizing her status and almost saying that work for me if you want your dough. The tension between Vickers representing the company's interests and Wayland, the
If I
visionary
do,
founder,
I suppose I should try and ask Master.
Vickers' agenda
If I
appears to
do,
be
I suppose
more
I'll
pragmatic,
ask Ma-
focused on using her findings for research and development, which diverges from Wayland's personal quest for existential answers and the extension of his lifespan. The crew had previously sent
Good to
an
see you
expedition
again. I have you to thank then. I can happily and I'm as yet, but and if there's any, well, I swear to God, Rika.
Engineers, which is an equivalent of a gold director sent to Voyager in 1977.
I'd like to ask, can you take
However,
the
the
can't
lack
be
of
so
response
this
from
will be glad.
engineers and the silence highlights the sense of humanity's isolation in the universe, foreshadows the challenges and dangers the crew will face on LV-203. Many people probably ask why Prometheus takes place on LV-203 instead of LV-426. Initially, the expedition was supposed to happen on LV-426 because the studio planned the single prequel. However, as they further developed the script, they realized that the storylines could not fit in a single movie, and that they'll probably have to release multiple sequels in the future where LV-426 will eventually appear. However, the extra materials on Blu-ray actually mentioned that after LV-223, Prometheus was supposed to go to LV-426, since according to the files, the corporation already detected a weird signal coming from 426. dark symbolism to the moon, suggesting the opposite of what the crew is trying to find, the absence of God. And diversity is safety for generations to come, and your descendants ceremonially unclean that come here to see the offerings that the Israelites offered.
fellow, I'm hereby decree of how utterly this grafting of God is tainted. If you intend to I ask you call upon the winds run far, I'm certain, Father. Apologies. As fellow tarnished, we must each follow our own guidance. Down whatever road takes us to the throne of Elden Lord.
Play Nice to meet you. The pleasure's mine. Roger's the name. A sorcerer, as you might have guessed. I'm looking for a little something here in the castle. When I'm not hot-footing it from the troops, that is. But enough about me. What are you doing here in Stormvale Castle? This place is bristling with tarnished hunters, you know. They sacrifice our kind for grafting. Not exactly a place I'd stroll into without a purpose in mind. I see. Here to challenge Godric and lay your hands upon a great rune, are you? You can see it then, I take it. The guidance of grace. Well, enjoy it while you can. I'm tarnished, like you. But unlike you, I've seen neither hide nor hair of this guidance for the longest time. Still, I won't forget how it felt when I first came here, to the Lands Between. I'm privy to a few magical battle arts. Would you care to learn one? As a fellow tarnished, one...